Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, Isis, Imitation of Life. The Goddess Next Door helps a young black girl overcome racism during the era of Jim Crow in this Golden Age Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Imitation of Life in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. There are a lot of white and non-black people in mainstream media and social media demanding that black people choose a side in the Israeli and Palestinian conflict. And many of these individuals believe that black people need to choose whether they support the Israelis or the Palestinians in order to show their support politically for this war. However, I have to ask a critical question of both the Israelis and the Palestinians. When have you taken a side as related to the issues of black people? And I ask that question because many of those who are out here saying that we need to choose a side oftentimes choose the side of white supremacy by going along with the policies that keep black people from getting any sort of economic or political power in this country. Now, I find it interesting that they want us to choose a side in the Israel-Palestinian conflict. However, I wonder what side many of those whites and non-blacks who are demanding that we take a side have as regarding the ruling that led to the last three survivors of the Black Wall Street massacre in Tulsa, Oklahoma, being denied an opportunity to receive recompense for all of their losses in that tragedy that happened over 100 years ago by a federal judge. What side are those individuals who are demanding that we take a side in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, taking as related to those three survivors of one of the worst terrorist attacks to happen to black people? What side are they taking as related to the ruling that denied those foundational black Americans a right to be compensated for all of the losses they suffered over a century ago in that terrorist attack? And I also go on to ask, what side did many of these individuals who were in the Middle East go out here and take as black people were dealing with the terrorism we suffered in Jim Crow and the terrorism we suffered as we were fighting for our civil rights? What side did they take? And was anybody looking for them to demand that they choose a side when it came to the violation of black human rights in America? I mean, all of these people want black people to go out here and take a side as related to this political discourse between Israelis and Palestinians, but all of these people fall completely silent on the issues of black Americans and the racism and terrorism we suffered at the hands of white supremacists and their terrorist organizations like the Ku Klux Klan, which went out here and burned down black people's homes, just burned down black people's businesses, went out here and lynched black people, and also railroaded many young black men and young black women through the criminal justice system. Where are all of these people to take a side as related to the violations of black people's human and civil rights? That's the critical question I gotta ask as related to all of this. We want you to take a side. I mean, when has anyone taken the side of black Americans and all of the oppression that we have gone through in this country, not to mention the current and ongoing discrimination that heterosexual black men are subjected to in our constant denial of opportunities in the job market and opportunities to live our lives without freedom, without being harassed and antagonized by all sorts of individuals. I mean, I listen to people say, oh, you've got to choose a side. Well, where was you talking about choosing sides about black people? Black people have been suffering in this country for years, and we are the ones who went out here and supported a president like Joe Biden, who has basically thrown up a middle finger in our face. And as he's thrown a middle finger up in our face, he's out here allocating money to Ukrainians and Israelites and Afghans and illegal immigrants, and has told black people who went out here and took their booties to the poll back in 2020, he can do nothing for us. But you have people in America who have the audacity to tell us to choose a side. Well, you didn't look to choose to respect black people, and this is why black people are, like myself, are saying we're not choosing any sides, because this ain't got nothing to do with us. And since it ain't got nothing to do with us, we're just gonna stay out of this business, because this business ain't got nothing to do with us. We're not gonna be like the late Ralph Bunche trying to negotiate a deal for the nation of Israel, like he did in his legendary time that he was here in the 20th century, and many others who advocated for one nation over the other. No, at this point, foundational black Americans, we are staying in our own lane, and we're staying in our own lane and staying out of business that isn't ours. No, we have our own business we're going to take care of, and we're going to stay out of other people's business, because what's between Israel and Palestine is between Israel and Palestine. It has nothing to do with foundational black Americans, and it has nothing to do with foundational black Americans looking to get tangibles from our government to recompense us for the taxes we pay into the tax coffers. We are looking to get tangibles in exchange for our votes. And since we cannot get any tangibles from the Biden administration, who has put Ukrainians, Afghans, and Israelis and non-citizens of this country above black Americans have no reason to choose a side except our side. And our side is about black empowerment. Our side is about empowering black people. And if we cannot get any sort of support for ourselves from other nations, then we don't need to support their political causes, because they have never really supported us. Again, all of these people asking us to choose a side, where was the outrage from these people regarding what happened to those black people, those last three survivors of Black Wall Street, who were denied the ability to go out here and get compensation of reparations for all of the losses that they took over a century ago with the terrorism that happened in Black Wall Street? Where is the support from those people? Moreover, where was the global support for taking a side about the human rights violations done to black people during the days of the Jim Crow, where black people were made into second-class citizens? Where was the outrage from all of these countries demanding that we take a side? Where were people taking a side to say, hey, I stand with black people as related to them fighting against Jim Crow, because it's not right to treat a black person like a second-class citizen in a country where they have to pay the same amount of taxes and get less quality service? Where was the international outrage for black people? I mean, this is before the civil rights movement, because it took the civil rights movement to expose the hypocrisy of America. But you have American media telling black people they have to choose a side, and the only reason they're telling us to choose a side is because they're insecure about black people not looking to stand for the towing the party line. And black people at this point are tired of towing a party line for parties that don't care about black people and parties that don't respect or regard black people. So we have black people who are saying, hey, it's not my job to choose a side as related to somebody else's struggle, because nobody's choosing to support our struggle, and nobody's choosing to work with us towards empowering us in our struggle. They want us to talk about these two countries thousands of miles away, but those two countries thousands of miles away are not ever thinking about black people. No,
what a lot of people in these countries do is they want to get black dollars for themselves. They want to come to America, to black communities, to build their lives in a middle class and rise and use the black community as a stepping stone. And then when you tell them, okay, well, when it's time for you to choose a side for black people, all of a sudden we get nothing but silence. Oh, you want us to choose a side, but you never choose to support us. So why should we choose a side in a struggle where we're not getting any tangible benefits outside of maybe a pat on the head or the side to say that I'm with somebody? Again, this conflict has been going on for thousands of years and will only be settled when the Messiah returns. So there's no reason for a black person to choose a side. No, a black person chooses to go out here and focus on the work that the Most High has provided for them to do and focus on empower and working towards with other black people. No, because the rest of the world isn't concerned with black issues, so we don't have to concern ourselves with something going on in somebody else's world. Now, if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to pick up some of my positive black fiction on the SJS Direct imprint, you can find those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, E-Steam: The Sands of Time. It's action and adventure in ancient Egypt in this terrific teen time travel romance. Get your copy of E-Steam: The Sands of Time at your favorite online bookseller today. Support black-owned and black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.